You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feis and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash.
And I am Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis, and today we are playing Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori.
I can't wait for you to say that all episode.
Man, that's we always get these mouthfuls. How is this game gonna hold up? Don't think about it. Is it gonna get a play it forever? Woo! Or a future endeavor?
You're fired!
We also discuss our experience at FWF Live 4, Twitchcon, and a whole lot more in gaming news.
And don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. And check out the exclusive content we're creating for our Patreon. Patreon.com/GameMarksPod. George, what's up? Feel like I just saw you. It was only 2 days ago as we're recording this, where we sat and we called the entire show with Top Shelf Troy Nelson. We were living it up at FWF Live 4.
I had a great time, minus one
The traffic?
major issue. No, I was even okay with that. One too many PBRs prior to recording, and then a couple of more at the commentary table. And by the last 3 matches, your boy was hurting.
Yeah, that was the worst part. There was no intermission. I think me, you, and Troy, as soon as that last bell rang and Fight TV said, all right, we're off, we bolted down to the bathroom so fast. And by the time I was done and I was leaving, you were still going.
When I tell you, it was the most pain I have ever felt in regards to that. I was like, as Troy's doing the opening, I'm like, yep, okay, all right, bye, see you later.
Other than that, I mean, what a show. I think it's been the best FWF show we've seen yet out of all 4 of them. I think that's going to be a new bar that has been set, and it's going to be such a good time going forward.
And hopefully we found our new spot in the world of FWF. Maybe that's where we... I
think so. I think I could leave behind the ECW legends. I could officially say I'm not an ECW original, and I'll stay at the announce table. So we'll see what happens. But it was just a great event. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on Fight TV. You could still catch the replay. And my God, there was something for everyone on that show. And I think that was the best part. The crowd was hot the entire time. It was great. So many surprises, and I can't say enough good things. But speaking of enough good things, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, we played it last week. We rated it. What are you thinking?
I think we struggled to find a good thing about it. I feel like that's really where the game fell flat, is that there was so much hype and build up and anticipation. And I mean, it's good for a few quick little matches here and there, but long-term replayability, this game is lacking. And double future endeavor.
My favorite part was on Instagram after I posted that's what we played this week. WCW Worldwide, friend of the pod, comes in with an all caps, finally, let's rip this shit apart.
Yeah.
Like, all right, take it easy. We're going to rip it, but we're not going to be, I don't know. I can find some things good about the game, but mostly it's not.
Yeah, I think that's the key part of when you talk about this game, is that there are a few fun little things, and we even said while we were recording, hey, this is a cool feature, like there are some redeeming things about it, and it's good in short spurts, but it's not a game that you're going to sit there and pump 2-3 hours into in a single PlayStation and then be like, oh shit, I've been sitting here for how long playing this game? Oh man, all right, well I guess I should probably go and do some of the stuff I'm supposed to be doing today.
Yeah, regardless, double future endeavor. It's now in the graveyard, and we'll sayonara, see you later at another date, another time. But, George, tell us what happens when we hit 1,000 Twitter follows.
Oh, man. We will be breaking down the complete video game history of the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. That's Mick Foley. That's Mankind. It's Cactus Jack. It's Dude Love. It's every incarnation of him in every video game that he has appeared in as himself. We may touch on some likeliness that were used in other popular titles. Obviously, he's like in every Fire Pro game. But this will be the main appearances of Mick Foley. I cannot wait. We are so close. We've already done The Undertaker. We've already done Bret Hart. We've already done Animal and Hawk. And cannot wait to break down the video game history of Mick Foley. But we can only do that once we hit 1,000 Twitter followers, and we're so close. Please, twitter.com/GameMarksPod.
That's right. Now, here's something else. Here's another update. Last week, we announced that Best Batch Promotions was joining us for Gamebury 2022. Next week, we're going to announce even more sponsors and the event details, when it's kicking off, what's happening, where it's going to be. And we're going to bring that all to you so we can make this event even bigger than the last, what was it, 3 years? The last 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what we could do. But all right, George, Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2. Are you ready to take that plunge into an arcade cabinet, into a PlayStation 2?
I am so ready. It's a series that you and I love very, very much. Let's go in and break down Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori.
Sponsored by Zavi. Hey, George. You see this light here that says Game Over that I point to at the end of every single episode, like Ronda Rousey pointing to that WrestleMania sign?
I do.
Do you know where I got it?
Why don't you tell me?
I got it from Zavi. That's us.zavi.com, Z-A-V-V-I, and they literally have everything. I have spent hours on this website looking up Mandalorian, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, like everything you could imagine. There's Legos, Power Rangers. You could pre-order the new Marvel Legends. It's an insane website that has literally everything pop culture. There's even Batman shoes on here.
I mean, I know for me, a little like adult Zen garden project that I like to do is like the smaller Lego sets, and Zavi has a lot of those Lego sets on there and getting kind of itchy. So if you like all things pop culture, like John said, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, Nintendo, they're even getting into the wrestling game now.
Oh yeah.
Zavi is the place for you.
That's right. Use code GameMarks, simply just GameMarks, at checkout, and you can get 10% off.
I'm going to redo my wardrobe. All right. If I
say it again. Say it again.
All right. Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori released September 25th, 2008 for the PlayStation 2. Published by Bandai. Developed by Sin Sophia, which is actually what ended up... You got this?
No, I'm going along with you here.
Oh, AKI turns into Sin Sophia.
But what was it first, George? The Man Breeze.
God damn it. The Man Bagel. That's in my head. Other games in 2008, you've got TNA Impact and SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. And, I mean, this is obviously a sequel to a game that we have played, available in the archives, Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max. This is obviously the second version of that. And it's a Japan-only release, but it's a game series that John and I, like we said earlier, have played through several of the games. I believe we have 3 or 4 left after this one. And, I mean, it's just that ridiculous type of gameplay that's just like, I don't even know how to describe it in this moment without a little bit of the backstory. So let's get into that, and then we'll touch on the gameplay in a little bit.
Okay, so compared to the previous game, this is even more arcadey, if even possible. So
I would say, which is crazy to even say.
Muscle Grand Prix Max was a full-on arcade game, but it did have that story mode where there was some voiceovers and cutscenes and some cool stuff, and just the visuals and the scenery in all of the Kinnikuman games, even dating back to like the Muscle games on the NES, there was just always something really cool and like enticing about them. But now we're getting Muscle Grand Prix Max, where you're getting the story mode with the cutscenes, but now in 2, you're not getting that. You're not getting any story at all. Instead, you're going to get some pretty cool game modes that we're getting into now, but you also, here's the caveat, you get more characters. So is there a fair balance of, do you want to play this with a story mode, or do you want more characters? I think when we did go back and play Grand Prix Max 1, we did mention how short and small the roster was.
Yes.
And I'm glad they fixed that, but it is lacking a little bit, but there's some cool stuff in here. It's a very simple game to play, very simple controls. It's, punch, kick, throw, block, and that's really it.
Yeah.
There's an arcade mode where you go through a series of fights, and that's really it. It's just kind of continuous, and you go until you lose, like an arcade cabinet. You're putting the coins in, or you're pressing start, and you're continuing. Once you're out of the continues, you're starting back from the bottom. So that's where your longevity comes in. That's where you can keep playing this. And you try to reach the final battle, which is against Super Phoenix. That's the main boss in this game. Very hard to beat. Once you get there, you're done. You did it. Congratulations. Now, also available in the arcade mode is Versus mode. Now, that's when the second player presses start, which simulates dropping some coins in the machine, and it's now a 1v1.
Now, this is where John and I spent most of our time during our playthrough, because obviously we do our little solo playthrough. But when we record the videos, for the most part, we like to have the verses. Hell, we had 3 years of a tournament where that's all we did. So in the spirit of that, we like to continue doing that. And man, if you want to see a very surprising video, make sure to go watch that on our YouTube channel, because boy, oh boy, was it a one-sided video this time. You also have tournament mode, collection mode, practice mode, and the game archive and special mode. But we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But tournament mode, you've got either a 4, 8, or 16 bracket style tournament. Every tournament is a predetermined section of characters, and you choose one of those characters to play as. The collection mode is exactly what it sounds like. You go through and you relive moments from the anime, and you collect gold medals. You can view your unlockables and earn more unlockables by performing certain techniques and certain special abilities. Like John said, the controls are fairly straightforward, but there are some move combinations a la Tekken, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, whatever you want to do. There are some button combinations that you want to move, that you want to memorize if you want to utilize certain attacks throughout the game. Practice mode, very self-explanatory. You go in there and you practice. But this is the cool thing, John. This is what I like about this game. You can go and you can play the NES version of Muscle and the Famicom game Kinnikuman. Really long name. I don't even want to try to say it.
It's the Famicom version of the Kinnikuman series.
Kinnikusei Oisodudatsun. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I love that. It's like when NHL came with NHL 94. It's when you go to It's when you go to an arcade game within a game, and I think Grand Theft Auto has it. A bunch of other has it. Simpsons has it.
We just talked about that.
We did. I want to go back to collection mode quick because you said this is where you replicate moments from the show and you receive medals based on that. You have to copy everything precisely and do it all exactly as it says, and that's the way you get the gold. If you don't. You have to keep going. You want that gold trophy, right? You want to see that gold trophy.
It's like showcase mode on steroids.
Right. But it's going to give you a scene, and you have to completely replicate that scene. So I think that's pretty cool. It gives you something to do. I guess that's kind of like the story mode here.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. But okay, this roster. I'll take it. You did the DLC last week for Battlegrounds, and that was very obnoxious and very long.
Okay.
I'll take this one. We are so used to seeing these names, and every time we get a Kinnikuman game, I'm just excited because you could visualize them.
It's a great roster to read through.
But all right, your Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori roster. You have Kinnikuman, Terryman, Ramen Man, Brocken Jr., Robin Mask, Benki Man, Benki, Wolfman, Pentagon, Warsman, Stekase King, Black Hole, Mr. Carmen, Atlantis, The Mountain, Springman, Buffalo Man, Geronimo, Snigator? Sure. Planet Man, Junkman, The Ninja, Sunshine, Ashura Man, Akuma Shogun, Neptune Man, a lot of mans, Big the Budo, Big Body, Mariposa, Soldier, Zebra, Super Phoenix, Kiniku Mantaro, Terry the Kid, Kevin Mask, Checkmate, Jade, Scarface, Barrier Freeman, and Yoki Hine? Sure.
Yeah.
Not really original names. I'll give them that. I know they're translations.
Yeah.
But still. A lot of anything with man at the end.
Zebra Man.
There's just something about Banky Man that gets me. Like, I think of a baby, like you're giving it a Banky. Give me the Banky. I don't know. I think it's funny. But you know my favorite character, Sunshine. He's just a giant pyramid that spins.
Yeah. Is it a pyramid, or is it just like a bunch of blocks? I really don't think that we ever got to the bottom of what it is. It almost looks like
Well, he turns to dust, like sand.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes me think he's a pyramid, and then he spins like
a top.
Like a top, yeah.
Yeah, there's...
I don't know. I think they're very unique looking
just
characters.
About that one character.
Sunshine Kinnikuman. Let's see. What is his description here? Leader of the elite team. Oh, he's a key antagonist. You become a member, but what is he? What are you? I don't know. It's not saying. His personality. Okay, his personality. His appearance. He is a giant golem-like Chojin with a yellow-golden correlation due to his body being made of sand and gold dust. He's gold dust. Oh. He's part of the Rhodes family. Sunshine is actually Dusty Rhodes. Okay, we figured that out. Glad we could get to the bottom of that. No.
That's not where I saw it. Cody Rhodes theme song, sing along, just a baby somewhere. Not expecting Sunshine is Dusty Rhodes.
That's where he went. All right. Let's talk about the arenas that you play through in here, because I think there's some weird ones. There's some pretty cool ones. They're all over the place. However, they are cool. I always say when we play Def Jam Vendetta that the bridge, or whatever it's called, reminds me of Kinnikuman because, well, they're both AKI games at heart, and there's just so many similarities. But you could play in a giant baseball field, what looks like someone's stomach. It's all like high-tech stuff, and they're all over the place. They're cool, and I think you just randomize them and you just let them happen, and that's it.
The stomach one is so weird.
The only thing I hate is you're confined to the ring. You can't leave the ring. I don't think you can go to the top rope unless we just didn't try hard enough.
I don't think that we try. I think you can. I don't think that we tried, though. I think that we were just so focused on
it doesn't give you a moment to
kicking the
breathe
crap out
to
of
even
each other.
try. Yeah, yeah. There's not a chance for that. Yeah, they're not very interactive. However, they are cool. Some of them are very like Soul Calibur-y. How do you say that? Soul Calibur-y. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark and dreary, and they look cool. But then you're on like a baseball field, and it's all cool, and actual humans are watching you beat each other up, which is weird. Now, another weird thing is there's no run, so you can't really run at your opponent. It's kind of like a double tap and like a shuffle forward. And it's the same when you whip, like use an Irish whip into the ropes. If you're not close enough to the ropes, they just stop. I thought that was weird. So it kind of depends where you are in the ring for that. Ring awareness.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's the thing that I think is different about this game versus the other games is that there was a little bit more freedom. And especially when you compare it to, like you brought up before, like Def Jam, where there is like a little bit of exploration and like in the sense of like you can go outside the ring, you can go up on the top, or you can do, and also, how'd you feel about the size of the ring?
In some instances it felt small, and in some it felt big.
I think
like I said, whipping them across the ring, it felt huge, but then you're running around, it felt small.
I think the how fast you move or how quickly you can get across the ring makes sense for the size, but if you're not constantly running to get to your opponent, that's when it felt like this ring is massive. Like there was several points when you and I were doing the versus playthrough where we're standing there and we're kind of like jockeying for a position, and neither one of us wants to immediately just start running at the other one. So we're just like kind of like walking around the ring, going in circles.
Yeah.
And the ring felt gigantic.
Yeah, it does.
But then
sometimes
as soon
it's
as
even
you
off
dash,
camera.
you're like, what the hell? We're like, how are we this confined in this ring?
Yeah, sometimes the ring's even like off camera. What was cool though is it kind of lets you set where you want to start, like as it's saying fight. So like before you actually fight, you could either walk up to each other or back away. So I guess you could kind of plan what move you wanted to like start with, or if you wanted to start on the defense rather than throwing a move. I thought that was kind of cool. It's not just fight, go. You're kind of walking towards each other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay. What is Kinnikuman without fantastic artwork? Let's get into the cover here because it's beautiful. This is anime at its best. This is all of the characters facing off against each other with flames in the back. Everything in a wrestling game needs flames. Everything needs flames, especially for Japanese releases. I think this is one of the best covers, and I cannot wait to see you replicate it for the artwork this week.
It's pretty much the exact same cover as the first one. I mean, it's very, very similar. It's a bunch of characters. It's got the elemental background. I think the last one was may have been fire too, or may have been like a smoky background or something, like lightning or something. But this is a fire background. It's got a bunch of characters on it. You've got Super Phoenix and Kinnikuman head to head, like it's a tail of the tape at UFC. And yeah, man, it's one of those games. We say it all the time. If you are familiar with Kinnikuman, you absolutely know what the hell this is, and it's colorful enough where if you see it on the shelves, it's going to draw your attention for sure.
Absolutely. Let's go to the back cover now because you get the screenshots from the game, and I think they're pretty cool. They're pretty scattered, but you also get the screenshots of the Muscle game for NES and the Famicom game that come with it, which looks so cool on the bottom there. I think that's one of the main selling points of the game, especially around this time. Like emulators were there, but maybe it's a game you forgot about or you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to play like on a computer. And now you have it included with your brand new game in 2008.
Yeah.
Which is also crazy to think this was 2008. It doesn't seem that long ago, but it was that long ago. This game is old.
If this game is old, what does that make us?
I don't want to talk about it. I do like the 3D renders of the characters up top. That really kind of drives it home.
That's really, really cool. It kind of gives you a better sense of the type of game that you're getting into because it's very anime-esque on the front cover, but when you see all the screenshots, you're like, oh, this is not like a 2D side scroll fighter kind of thing. This is an absolute fully immersive 3D arcade style fighter.
Yeah, and it's not too far off from what they actually look like in the game. I know sometimes they're a little bit more exaggerated, but I think they're almost spot on, minus a few pixels here and there.
Fairly accurate. It's not like you're a little smoother, maybe a little more cell shading on the actual renders on the back cover, but that's a digital render that's being printed versus however the console's rendering these models. Right. So there's allowed to be a little bit of interpretation here.
That's right. Now, George, here's something I'm just actually looking at. We skipped around a bit. We actually never played the first one. I know that comes as a shock to you, and you looked very shocked right now. But there is actually a difference between Muscle Grand Prix and Muscle Grand Prix Max. Huh.
So wait.
So Muscle Grand Prix and Muscle Grand Prix 2 are a thing. But Muscle Grand Prix Max and Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 are a thing. He looks very upset right now.
Son of a bitch, he's right.
It's okay. We don't have to go in order here.
No, but
I will say this. Muscle Grand Prix, the first one, we played it forever, both of us.
Yep. That I knew.
So, when the time comes when we play Muscle Grand Prix Max 1, we'll have something to go off because we know what the sequel's about. Listen, they're all the same. They're all in the same world. They all look the same, play the same. It's whatever. It's just another PS2.
I'm just adding it to the list now.
So that means we have even more to play, which is great.
Now we have 5.
Yeah. Wow. I see the bead of sweat coming.
Muscle Grand Prix 2, Muscle Grand Prix Max, Muscle Generations, and Kinnikuman Dirty Challenger.
It's hard to figure out because they're all so similar in name, and there's like a lot of translated versions as well, so I don't know. We're all over the place here with that.
Yeah. It's like I thought Fire Pro was convoluted and hard to follow.
So that was something George didn't know, but did you know? Did you know Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori is developed by Sin Sophia, formerly known as AKI Corp and The Man Breeze?
Did you know Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori is on eBay right now from $60 to $100 with a 3-pack of this game, the first Grand Prix Max and Kinnikuman Generations for $125, and maybe that's the one that we have to buy.
That's a pretty good deal for all three, to be honest. I don't know, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm still baffled about the whole evolution. The Man Breeze had 2 WCW games, and then it went to AKI.
You gotta say it the right way.
The Man Breeze. Yeah, now this one's developed by Sin Sophia, but on the back cover it's the AKI logo. AKI is still making games, Sin Sophia is still making games. It's just weird. Like they brought the AKI name like out of retirement. I don't know. Weird. Like they brought it out for a few games and then put it back in. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm also very confused here. I don't know. I don't know why that's the way that it is.
That's it. So it's time. Now sit back, relax, think about what you did. It is time for the ratings and reviews. Some R&R. All right, we're going off the game FAQ. The game FAQ user ratings here. The user average is a 4 out of 5 stars, which is considered great. I like that. Difficulty 3 out of 5, considered just right, and the length played is a total of 9 hours. So, I'm I'm liking it. I'm liking the ratings. I'm liking what people think. Of course, these are not the publications because it's very hard to find those for a Japanese game, as we've said in the past, but these are the user ratings. So I think these are a little bit more important, especially for a game we're looking back on. All right. But, George, it is now time for the most important rating of them all, and that's our rating, because right now it's time to rate the game.
The game!
All right, Johnny Clash, you're going to kick us off this week here, bud. Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2 Tokumori. Will you play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
I think I'm going to keep up with the last one. I gave a whoa, almost said the wrong thing. A play it forever. It's late. I'm tired.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm going to play it forever here. I liked
Right.
it. It's quick. It's fun. It doesn't take much to pick it up and figure out what you're doing. It's a fighter. It's an arcade fighter, and if you've played one, you've played them all, and there's not much to it. I liked it. And, I mean, come on. It's a great roster.
It's a who's who of Kinnikuman.
Exactly. Now, George, what about you? Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
I am right there with you, John. It's a series that we've played a bunch of times, and even the bad games in this series are still pretty great. And this is one of those series that kind of came out of nowhere for us. I put this up there with Saturday Night Slam Masters, a game that we did not really have a lot of experience with prior to the podcast, but has become quite a little gem that we look forward to whenever it kind of comes up. So I am also going to give it a play it forever. Woo!
All right, another double pith. Now, I'm on eBay right now looking at the figures from SH Figure Arts, Bandai. They're still very expensive. So, not something that'll be happening anytime soon. I think the cheapest I see right now is a pre-owned Kinnikuman for $50. But he's in a box, so I guess they repackaged him. It looks okay.
Oh, wait a second. There's on BigBadToyStore.com. There's a Kinnikuman Ultra Detail figure for $16.
Oh.
Oh, and they have Soldier Man, which I think is Jaeger.
Kinnikuman figures. There's a lot. I mean, think about how far these go back with the muscle figures.
Oh, yeah. But there's a...
Oh, I see the Big Bad Toy Store one.
Are they
that's
tiny?
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I don't think there's any art.
That's only 3.5 inches also.
Oh, shit. Damn, yeah, that's
a
tiny.
Small one.
A lot of detail, though, in such a small figure. Look at the pictures.
Yeah, I guess
on
that's
this
the
thing,
point, right? Ultra
Damn.
detail figure. Combat uniform. And he's wearing a COVID mask.
I mean, the one that's $124 is only 8 inches, so...
Pretty cool. But all right, it's now time for your gaming news. All right, your gaming news. Pretty light week this week. Super Mario Bros. Trailer was released featuring Chris Pratt as Mario, Jack Black as Bowser. There was one thing they took away from Mario that people were a little bit upset about. Maybe he didn't have Princess Peach, just trailing behind him. If you feel my drift, they took away his butt. They took
lost the shelf.
he needed to take 2 of those shells and pop them in there. Twitch streamer Adriana Cheek broke her back over the weekend. Did you see this at TwitchCon?
Apparently, a lot of people got hurt. It was like in the foam thing, right?
The foam thing.
Yeah, a lot of people got hurt. Like someone like broke their ankle. She got hurt. She broke her back. So another person, like was standing on a little platform that was what you were supposed to jump to, and like the platform gave out. Like 4 or 5 people got hurt in this freaking foam pit.
But why did the foam pit look like it was like a foot deep, and then it was just like I don't know. It's like sheet metal under it.
See, that's the part that I didn't understand as well. But the main thing was just like, they were like, go stand on this platform. And people were just standing on the platform and getting hurt. It wasn't even that people were jumping. It was just people couldn't get onto the platform. They were getting hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. Another thing, I was watching ESPN Monday Night Football last night, and a commercial came on. It looked like it was for a movie, and it was like an action thing, and there was like soldiers and whatnot. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, those look like the Warzone characters. And it actually was a Modern Warfare commercial, but it was live action. So I thought that was pretty cool. They're not showing the gameplay yet, but they had like a live action movie trailer for it.
That's awesome.
So
I gotta find that. That's kind of
cool.
Find
it. You'll know right away like who everybody is. You're like, wait a minute, that guy no scoped me. Yeah, okay. All right, games releasing this week: Destiny's Sword on October 17th. On the 18th, A Plague's Tale: Requiem, and Burial Dreams, Ghostbusters: Spirit Unleashed, Marvel Snap, Them's Fightin' Herds. Sure. On the 19th, The Last Hero of Nostalgia, The Last Worker. Is that a wrestling game? It's like someone's gimmick, like the vet that's been there for like 50 years that is still like a nobody on the indies. I'm the last worker.
The last true worker.
Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves Collection, The Valiant, and now on the 20th, Batoro Lost Haven, Hell is Others, Jackbox Party Pack 9, Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope, The Pegasus Expedition, Warhammer 40,000 Shooters, Blood and Teeth. On the 21st, here it is, Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
And new tales from the Borderlands and Persona 5 Royale. Anything you're getting here, because I think Gotham Knights is the one that's sticking out at me.
You lagged. You're good now, but you lagged, and I didn't hear the last thing that you said. You sound like T-Pain.
Anything you're interested in here? I think Gotham Knights is the one that's sticking out for me.
Gotham Knights. I gotta do some research and see what new Tales from the Borderlands is, because Tales from the Borderlands was a like point-and-click adventure that was really good. I don't know if maybe they're making a sequel, and that kind of slipped through the radar. But I know it's not this, but Marvel Snap sounds like it's going to be Pokemon Snap for the Avengers, and I want
exactly what I was thinking.
I want it to be that, and I know it's not that. It makes me sad.
What is it? I'm looking now.
All right. Well, you look that up. I'll do this. YouTube.com/GameMarks Podcast for all our weekly playthrough videos, exclusive content, and a whole lot more, including this week and every other week's game.
It's a card game.
Oh, boo. Patreon.com/GameMarksPod. John, what is happening on Patreon this week?
All right, as usual, ad-free show every Friday with the show notes. You can submit your soft lock questions by Thursday afternoon. Tuesday, Clash and Burn. We are going to post our FWF Live 4 vlog. We had such a good time making appearances. We have Liam Davis, Troy Nelson, the whole squad. Swoggle's in there, everybody. Last Tuesday, we posted OMG Mario Golf, which was a lot of fun. And we had our Discord game night, where our game nights usually are like an hour, maybe 2 hours of us playing some games. This one lasted like 3 or 4 hours. We were playing Cards Against Humanity online against each other. It was a great time. It was awkward. It was funny. It was
awkward in the best way possible. I'm actually going to do some research for the next game night and see if I can get a wrestling-based Cards Against Humanity. Even if I have to, like, because on that website that we use, you can make your own like decks and stuff. So even if I have to go in there and make it myself, I think it might be fun.
I think we could double team that and make some pretty good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, we're going to change it up, George. We had this idea for next week. Well, we're not going to play just one game. We're going to play a couple games, and we are going to break down the best steel cage matches in wrestling games.
Now, not Hell in a Cell. Steel cage.
Right, just the steel cage, where it started, the first ones, the latest, and which one we think just plays the best. I mean, there's all different. Just look at last week in 2K Battlegrounds, how different that cage match is. So,
oh yeah,
I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This is like it's kind of like a mini Game Wars kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to be fun, and the game that we're playing after that, man, I'm very excited about it. I already got it picked out. Can't wait to tell you what we're going to do after that.
Oh boy.
But guys, GameMarksPod.com/shop for all of our exclusive merchandise, ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod for all of our new shirt designs. Had a couple new shirts go up in the last couple of days. Make sure to go and check those out. Patreon.com/GameMarksPod for all of our exclusive content like show notes, exclusive shows, and a whole lot more at GameMarksPod on all forms of social media. And remember, when we hit 1,000 followers on our Twitter channel, we will be doing the video game history of Mick Foley. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and leave us a 5-star rating and review on both Apple Podcast and Spotify. And if you have a product or service that you would like to advertise on this podcast, please reach out to us at GameMarksPod@gmail.com. John, I will see you next week for the breakdown of the best cage matches in wrestling video game history. And I think it's time, looking at my watch, I think it's time for you to do that thing that you do.
Game over. Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future Endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.